Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself, because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in the space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experienced it, like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself, and
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that.
What's going on, Juneteenth family? Another weekly edition of the Lunch and Learn session. I am your host, Kiara Green, aka MBG. I'm excited to be here with you. I hope you're excited to be here with me. Hope you all had a great love day yesterday. Happy Black History Month. Again, we are in February, so I'm pushing that all month. And we spread nothing but love and positivity today. As always, I have a special guest in the house today that I'm excited to bring to the stage. This brother is phenomenal. When I tell you let me just read some of his accolades, okay? First of all, his name is Radri L Woodson, okay? He's a full-time dad, father, advocate, advisor, a role model, a leader of two phenomenal young, well-mannered kings. He's the co-owner of Southside Kick LLC, okay? He's currently the CEO of Street Maintenance, and which is a youth incorporation, empowerment, community-based violence prevention, 501c3 nonprofit organization, okay? I'm excited to hear about that. He is a member of the New Direction. He's a member of Essex County Youth Investment Council. I'm gonna get deep with this brother today, okay? He's an ambassador for NJRC, ambassador in reform. He's a director of East Orange Mayor Street Engagement Team. He's a board member right here, Juneteenth NYC, and he's the QPR gatekeeper, okay, to suicide prevention. Bring my brother up, Radri L Woodson. Bring him up to the stage. What's going on? Good morning. Well, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm blessed. Good morning.
Listen, blessings upon blessings. Thank you for joining us today. I want to start by going back a little bit. I just read so much, and we're going to dive into all that you do today. But can we start with your background, your childhood? Tell us about your upbringing a little bit, and how do we get to the Radri that we have today?
Pretty much, I was raised by my mother. My father was in my life, in and out of incarceration in the streets. I started growing just like him, but before that, I was very talented at baseball. Was my favorite sport.
Okay.
I played all sports right in Enwood Park in East Orange, where I'm from. Me and my friends, we grew basically family based. How can I say? We structured from sports. We formed from sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we start seeing other things, taking on other things, taking in other things. And what we took in, we thought we can do better.
Yeah.
Not just that, the way we stuck together, we was always looked at the other ones. So then we formed a gang, street gang back then called Rock a Block.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it all began. I'll say introducing to violence into the streets. That's about age 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Then as time went on, street gangs lead to actual gangs.
Yeah.
Became a blood gang member. I would say ain't nothing really changed. It was still me and my guys formed.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really change my character. What changed my character was the drinking.
Okay.
And when you abuse something, you drink every day, it become you. That's
Yeah.
not really you, but it's you when you do it every day.
Right.
And it took out all my kids, and I wasn't worried about nothing, my fears, because I'm drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just start doing, just digging myself deeper and deeper and deeper to the point I thought I didn't care.
Right.
And in and out of keep getting arrested, in and out incarcerated. I hung myself. Everybody get tired at some point. And
Yeah.
fortunately, this time and this crime I committed was a shooting. The judge was tired, and he's saying you're too advanced. That's the way I look at it now. Though. It was looked at as I was too advanced with my age, and he
Right.
waived me and charged me as an adult. Um, Wait on, time passed. They allowed me to graduate. Graduated in June 26th, 2008. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they woke me up early morning. Said brought me an intake. Sheriffs transported me to the county jail. I said, "You graduated." I said, "Yeah, yesterday." They said, "Nah, you graduated. You're going to the county jail now."
Mm-hmm.
So, sat in there for a while fighting my case, and his judge he went from 15 years. They wouldn't let up. Um, I actually took a 8, and the judge, for some reason, he seen something in me. He gave me a 7. A
Mm.
year off wasn't no difference, but it was a big difference.
Right. Right.
And throughout that 7 years, I just I started out immature and around being around older guys. They
Mm-hmm.
sat me down, talked to me like you different, and I started taking on from older guys incarcerated and listening to them, because you got
Right.
nothing but time, and these become your friends.
Yeah.
So they started coaching me and pushing me through different things, programs. So I took advantage of all programs and trades. Started learning different, gaining knowledge. So then that's when knowledge became my big thing. Because the more I learned, I realized I didn't know nothing,
Right.
and I became attracted to knowledge then. And I, throughout that 7 years, I always said, "Oh, when I go home, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that." That's everybody's sob story when they locked up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Went home, it was like all that time went out the window. I was right back at it. Probably drinking heavier.
Mm-hmm.
I did everything, but somehow, some way, grace of the law, I dodged parole though.
Yeah.
Literally got off parole. Probably 2 weeks later, ended up on probation. Um, I had DUIs, public intoxications, but it was with the public intoxication things. I look back, it was always my mouth was
Mm-hmm.
led to the situation being worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I learned to shut up a long time ago, a lot of things I got into, I would never
Would
got
have been
into.
avoided. Uh-huh. Got
Um,
that.
Once I tapped in myself and I told myself enough drinking, it's like my life been lit since.
That's the change.
Yeah.
That was a change. Well, you dropped a lot, and I know that as we unfold some things today, I know, just as you said, over those 7 years, because that was at age 16 you went in. Am I correct? 16 or
Yes.
so. So that's a pivotal point in a young man's life of, those are your teenage years. There's a lot of changes, just period, mannerism
At
and
16, it was excuse me, 16. That's when I originally escaped the program, and I was out for
okay.
a couple, like 6 months, and I caught the shooter. So it was a
Mm.
little gap time, a little couple months gap time.
Right, right. So at that point, I know you said being incarcerated and your mind shift within talking to these older guys and just having them give you some kind of insight and motivation of like, yo, you don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? You can change this. You can shift this. How would you say um that inspired you within that time frame, and then because it's almost like, just like you said, you come out and you adapt to what basically, so you just get back in the groove of things, but the shift and the power that you had with obtaining that knowledge and learning things, what did that do, and how did that help you, in today's world of like, I know that I'm capable of making these changes.
Um, Perfect way to answer that is like these same guys. they're gang members, they're blood gang members, but they're bigger bros, older bros that been through all this. So
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at them as leaders already. And then you got the leaders telling me this about myself. And on the streets, you always got them brothers that's gonna tell you to chill, rowdy,
Yeah.
but to
Yeah.
sit you down and you're looking at a high influence person telling you this,
Mm-hmm.
you got nothing. You in a small room, so you go and listen. You hear it loud and clear.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it's gonna get into you, and then it's gonna have you thinking about yourself. Like I'm really wild.
Yeah.
So, and the crazy thing you ask that because it brings me to today. Those same type of men is new direction. Those same type of brothers is new direction. Big brothers of this
Yeah.
thing, and they came home, and brother Tut stuck to his word. He was down there, but it was the influence, and it influenced others. So you can read the real. You can read when someone talking to you sincere. You can read
Absolutely.
when someone actually uplifting you and mean it.
Absolutely. 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 And just I was thinking as I was preparing to talk to you today, I'm just thinking of the influence that our youth has today. And not even just today, but that's always been the influence. Like music has always been a major influence. The way that I know, and I always understood that music is a form of art. Everything that everybody rapping about and talking about is not necessarily the life that they live, but the glorification of violence and street culture and gang culture and all of this stuff. It kind of gives you a platform, or basically like something to look up to. Like I want to be like that without even noticing, like, this is where I see it at outside of just my neighborhood. This is what's hot, or this is what
Yeah,
might look like it's hot. How do we and
honestly,
that's just like a click of a button now. So I guess, how do we kind of change that narrative, or how do you in your organization and your company, how do you change that narrative to still relate and be able to talk to the youth about, like, yo, I was here, I did that, I
yeah.
felt this, I listened to this, I do that. But how do we change that narrative and provide these resources for these kids at an earlier age?
Um, consistency first of all, consistency and engagement. Um, and we just start a more popular trend than what's on the music. What it
Yeah.
is brothers we had shared experiences, and we get ourselves together and we move away. Instead, if they see you got cars doing drive-bys or doing this, doing that, if they see a
Hmm.
hundred brothers like myself on the street after school, what do you think them cars gonna do? Keep going.
Yeah.
So it's really more we gotta put the neighbor back in the hood, the
Yeah.
community get more
Yeah.
involved and start a better trend. The
Yeah.
music, they gonna hear the music, they gonna hear the music, but the school got them 6 hours a day.
Hmm.
So we start a trend relating to the school or something that can outfluence that. It's really bringing in the resources.
Right.
Well, the more resources we bring in, the more you can do to keep them occupied, keep their mind off, show them it's things to do other than music. What they do on TV, because you can't really say the music, the same way we say the music, the Fed's showing you what they do to these type people.
No,
So,
absolutely.
if the kids still making them choices and they see what the young thug and them going through, and they still
Hmm.
making them choices, something wrong.
Yeah.
So it ain't really the music; it's what else can we do?
Yeah.
What else is we gonna do? This became our sport.
Absolutely. I agree with that a million percent. And I guess I should have started with, you telling us about the journey to street maintenance, and how did you, start that whole. I know you kind
Mm.
of gave us a little bit of that, but just establishing that. How do we get street maintenance?
Street maintenance started out basically we had the organization. The founder Ish, she kept talking to me about it. Kept talking to me about it. Say, yo, bro, let's start. Do something for these kids here. We could do a lot. Like we've been through this. This us. They just misguided. Like
Mm-hmm.
so. She kept talking to me about it. Kept talking about it. And you know me, I could see if someone's serious. A year passed, and I'm like, it was New Year. I said, talk to her and Wayne. He's the president of Street Maintenance. I
Okay.
said, come on, let's take a ride. And they didn't know where we was going, but we was going to good sister Sadia who do all my business things and start the entities and everything.
Okay.
We went over to her And we actually didn't have a name. We just told her our vision, and I explained what I just explained to you. Each kept talking to me,
Mhm.
and she sat us down, talked to us, like got a good feeling of us, and figured us out through passion. And
Mhm.
we sat there. We got the question we got stuck on what's the name gonna be, and we sat there, and I said, well, we basically reconstructing what we took part in deconstructing.
I
So let's
like
call it street maintenance. It's a cleanup on the streets.
I like that.
And that's how we came up with street maintenance. And just unfortunately, throughout the time within that year later, later in that year, we had a slaying in our city from a good basketball player Latrell, rest in peace.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
so went spoke to the mayor and said, we can work with these kids. They gave us the opportunity right away. We
Yeah.
started at the East Orange campus school, speaking to a group of kids that they thought was the kids that we need to speak to. We asked, "What do y'all want?
Mhm.
What do y'all actually want that can stop this madness?" And they said, "Wow, we want an open gym."
Mhm.
So throughout some time, it took some time, but we got it done. We sat down, planned, and I had the mouthpiece, but I didn't know how to write it or the program proposals.
Right.
But I can tell you because I'm telling you from my passion. I'm
Yeah.
looking at myself as that kid, at what
Yeah.
it takes.
Yeah.
So the mayor of East Orange, good brother, honorable, sat me down. He actually paired me with another person in the city and sat me down. So we shadow that person, and that person, David Sharp, taught me how to write proposals. End up,
Mhm.
I caught on to that so quick. He started teaching me how to write grants. So it was like it's a law. It's
Yeah.
God. And so I learned that. I can't stop writing to this day. So the more and more I just write, it all come to vision, it came to
Yeah.
play. And we start doing other things in the community. That's how the mayor formed Mayor Street Engagement Team.
Okay.
So overseeing that, we put them both together and we started the actual open gym for the kids. Fresh Start Open Gym mentoring.
Mhm.
And we spent a lot of time on how we're going to get the kids. First day we opened last year, we had 20 something kids. This year, our first day, we had 25.
Oh.
Today, on paper, we have about 87 kids.
Ooh. Come on now. Come
Um,
on now.
it's it's really just engagement and consistency. And we speak to the kids. We ask the kids why y'all respect us. Why y'all can't do this in school. Catch
Yeah.
themselves. One curse, they all push up. And the more and more you do it, you realize they became my therapy. They became my healing.
Yeah.
Because we still go through things. I'm still human. I still have the
Yeah.
moments I'm about to crash out. My anger get the best of me. The more and more elevate is like more and more I have a zero tolerance for the BS.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes, and I think about how many kids I'm failing, how many homes I'm failing, and that's always what catches me. So
Yeah.
they became my therapy. They became my healing. I could actually be having a bad day and then go to that gym. It's something that's gonna snap you right back. You could just play basketball with them or something. So it's both sided. It go both
Yeah.
ways now.
So full circle, and just my last interview last week, we was talking about just the impact that kids have on us as well, like the representation and us being role models in the community and changing kids lives, like you literally, you're changing lives every day. You showing up is what's needed. Some kids may not have that father figure, some kids may not know, what's my role as a black man in society, what's my role as black man in America, how do I navigate through this, who can I go to for help. And just your organization street maintenance is and all the organizations, everything that you're a part of is a staple for those reasons. So of course we thank you for that. And I want to ask you, and which I think is a very interesting question that I ask a lot of black males that I talk to. What does it mean to be a black man in America?
What does it mean to be a black man in America? Honestly, to be a black man in America, you must remain a leader at all times.
Mm,
Because you could get brainwashed by input, You could lose what you're doing by output.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really you just gotta let God be your compass
Absolutely.
and lead yourself and don't doubt yourself. That's the biggest thing. Don't doubt yourself because it's a lot of opportunity. And I realize that we leave ourselves in a standstill by doubting ourselves. So to be a black man in America, I look at it as if you just go a little bit harder, you have the same opportunities as everyone else. You just gotta
Yeah.
go a little bit harder.
Yeah. 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 For sure. For sure. For sure. And I think that's I look at just the creative sense of opportunities that we have today, like, as creatives and, as entrepreneurs and as business owners, we have a sense of a higher opening, I guess, to speak and to share the knowledge with one another, as opposed to, before you can't do what you don't know. You
Hmm.
can't, if you don't know, you don't know. Just like you said, the more you read, the more you realize, oh, I really don't know. I really don't know much. So just with the exposure of, like, uh different figures. We have the Earn Your Leisure podcast, which is, financial, teaching us about financial literacy. We got, people like you teaching about reforms and, things of that nature. How do we like create these initiatives to continue on these paths? So, like, just advocacy, I guess, for platforms and politics and, things that we might not know about on an everyday basis. How can we reach out to an ambassador like yourself and say, yo, can you put me on? Can you teach me something? Can you, how do we continue to do that?
That's actually what we want. We want all the community involved. The more the community involved, we don't have to blame politics. We don't have to blame the police department. The
Yeah.
more and more we point fingers, all we saying is we want y'all to raise our kids. We
Mm-hmm.
don't want the government raising our kids. So it takes the community. That's the village.
Yeah.
So it's we always open. It's room for it's volunteer work. So it's room for everybody. It's just time is the precious and the most valuable thing. So we understand. But if you could give resources, give a youth a job, the simplest things. But really, it's just a group effort resource. We losing a battle against kids
Mm-hmm.
that we once was. Is time may be a little different, but it's really not.
Yeah.
They're moving off influences. We were somewhat moving off survival. So
That's key.
it's really easy to tackle them. They just don't have that same. Everybody life thing got so hard. So everybody really trying to get their self together, but they're forgetting about our youth.
Mm-hmm.
As time we're moving too fast in life.
Yeah.
So if everybody just take a step back and reach for one hand, I think we'll win the war.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's definitely truth. And within the community, it just made me think about, I went to, because I'm from Brooklyn, I went to a community council meeting for the first time. I've never even, I want to, and it kind of sound ignorant because I'm like, I didn't even know this was going on. I didn't even know that as a community, you can just come. I thought that was something that, maybe you had to have a role in doing, or position to be able to be invited to those kind of things. But I just went and I sat in, and I was like, oh, this is how you bridge the gap right here, because you got the police sergeant here, you have, the city council member here, you have, and the representation of the neighborhood, you know speaks volume in those situations. So just you saying, like, you got to get involved, that's something that's absolutely true, because we have to say, but if we don't say anything, then it goes whatever way. And then it's like, oh yeah, we pointing fingers, but we got to kind of look at how we represent ourselves as well. So that's something that's major. um I was thinking about, and I wrote down this question. I said, what do we, I feel like you kind of touched on it already with your one of your responses, but changing the narrative of the street code, right? And what's gangster, and like positivity is gangster. Like how do we change that narrative of, and you just saying us showing up and being outside, them cars gonna keep going, and us like, how do we create the new I guess, street code, quote unquote, to be like, nah, education is that's code, knowledge is code, and showing up, of course, and being there. But outside of that, what else do you think? Like,
Um, um, I'm gonna give you the street answer on that one
mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm,
we were just talking about this the other day. No matter what machines, what you done with your hands in the gang life, don't nothing feel like more power the right way when you can actually hear someone problem talking about streetwise beef,
mm-hmm,
and you go to that next community or that next person that they beef with, you sit there, you mediate that and talk to them, and you actually able to stop a whole different brothers about to crash out. So
yeah,
really be able to mediate situations and actually talk it out. And once you actually talk things out, both parties realize, damn, it's dumb, or
yeah,
it's as simple as this. We ready to kill each other.
mm-hmm,
So if we can influence people to actually mediate the situation before anything, it is to solve a
yeah,
lot of problems out here. So, well, the power of able to be able to sit down now and have the ability to communicate throughout anger or whatever, that's a lot of discipline, and
ooh,
discipline became a big thing. So it's not allowing no one to have control of you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's huge. And just like you said, that amount of power is unmatched. You don't have to, and just as you said earlier, you mentioned a little earlier about controlling your anger.
Hmm.
Controlling your mouth, controlling your temper, controlling just the instinct on reacting to something. Like, I react on instinct instead of just absolutely thinking about the situation. And that could absolutely change lives, and position us in better ways to come out on top, and I know that balance is key, right? Balance is key in a lot of this, and I know that you wear a lot of different hats. You're a dad, you're this. How do you balance, being a full-time dad, being in these organizations, showing up for these kids? How do you create a balance in your daily life?
Honestly, my kids is my responsibility.
Mm-hmm,
So that's law. But secondly, I would say their mothers, thank God for who, regardless of our differences, their
mm-hmm,
mothers make the work a little easy, make it very easy. And each one of my kids, they got a different thing with them. Like at the right moment, they know what to do at the right time, or
mm-hmm,
whether it's a FaceTime, it's a call. So it's like we have our own connection of they know when I need them.
yeah.
So it's really, again on that, God is my compass. I just got it by God.
I love it. I love it. I love it. um I want to touch on this, and then I'm going to jump into a quick PSA. But can you tell us about your personal experience and your approach to the suicide prevention, as a QPR gatekeeper? And can you explain what a QPR gatekeeper is?
QPR gatekeeper, which is basically suicide prevention. We
Mm-hmm.
come, we talk to you, any calls of suicide or any attempts, or we hear it, we come talk to you, make sure you seek the right proper services. And we just kind of stay there with you and keep
Right.
checking on you, be there for you constantly until we feel okay. And then we double back around. You just sometimes people just need that be that air. So we just
Mm-hmm.
try to provide that air to the right person at the right time. But
Mm-hmm.
it really takes people speaking up, letting us know about that person, letting
Yeah.
us know different calls, different things and such. But that's my newest one. But good sister Natasha's been training me through everything. Um we don't actually talk about the process.
Got it. Got it. I think that's super dope. And I think that that role right there, because I have a best friend who does something along those lines. And I'm like, to be able to talk to these people that's what they need. Of course they need that shoulder, but to be able to talk somebody basically, off of an edge of like, listen, nah, it's not worth it. You have to have a very, I don't even know what that takes, but I know you have to have, the thick skin of like, it's almost like I can't bear your problems, but I have to take them on to kind of ease you a little bit, and that takes a special person to do that. So, thank you for that, of course. Before we jump into some more questions, let me talk to it just made me drop into just people with special gifts, calling all our entrepreneurs out there, business owners, entrepreneurs, vendors. We looking for you. Okay, can we get our vendor session up on the screen? We have a vendor information session which will be February 21st, okay, at 7 p.m. It was one this week. It's another one next week. Jump in, learn all about what we got going on at the 15th annual Juneteenth festival celebration. It will be June 14th to the 16th. We got fantastic perks. Of course, we got benefits for you. We got payment plans if you need that. We just taking care of you, all right? And it's a year round. If you join in, you'll get the insight on the year-round activities and the things that we got going on. So wait no longer. Go to the website right now, Juneteenth NYC. Check it out. Register. And the information session will be the 21st, again, at 7 p.m. So tap in with that, okay? Make sure you tap in with that. The link is in the chat. If you are on this live chat, the link is in the chat. So you guys can go directly to the chat and click that link and register for that. So be there. This year is going to be amazing. 15th annual, be there. All right, I had to throw that in because it just made me think about it, just talking about, people in their special roles.
And don't forget, for the audience, June 15th, June 16th, Linden Park, Prospect Park, the event.
Absolutely. We out there for sure. Jumping back into you, what do you think are some advantages and disadvantages, or I kind of say like the risk of and challenges that you face just as an advocate, and how do you overcome those? How do you deal with those? I know you said, of course, the kids get you through on certain days, but just challenges within personal challenges that how do you deal with that?
Excuse me. Denial is my biggest challenges. Everything just don't go as right. You get denied from a lot more than what is and it's not just denial, it's protocols and it's things that I don't know about yet. So how do I get through it? I think a couple times I shut down actually, but I'll take like a week off, a week away from everything, how I regain myself. And for some reason, that week away always make me come back strong, because when I get back, I'm focusing on, all right, now I'm gonna come more prepared. Then I'm gonna smack you with something harder because I had to learn this, learn that. So it make you regain plan. You shut down, regain plan, and it's to get myself together, because now I take it as, with denial, I take it as, oh, all right, they caught me slipping, or I failed to prepare this. So now I don't blame no one else, and that's what makes me keep going. And every day I try, whether it's small or big, I try to learn something new.
Key. Yeah. And that's big within itself, because I don't feel like nothing is too small to learn, even if, whatever the magnitude of it is, it's just the fact that you're learning and you're continuing and you're open to knowledge is huge within itself. And I know, and I see all the time, like different quotes of like, failure is just not taking the chance. Like if you take the chance and you get to know, that's a part of, you know, the learning. And you know, but failure is when you let that fear conquer you and you don't even take the leap, you know. So even in, I like to, and I try to, because we all you know go through um these battles of like, dang, they told me no, you know, the rejection is just like, am I, so you're trying to say, am I good enough? Or, you know, it kind of makes you second guess yourself. But I try to change the way that I look at things, as far as like, you know, what's for you is always going to be for you, you know. And I truly honestly believe that. And I know that you know, you gotta continue to take these chances, because without you won't get to your yes if you don't, you know, get
Keep
through all
going.
the no's first, right? You won't know what that yes is gonna be, and it may not be the first thing. So that's definitely a gem, and that's huge on that. What do you believe is the resolution of black on black violence in the community? And I know you said the talking, of course, the accountability, um, and the representation of the community. In the chat, hold on, I see the chat going off crazy too. Let me throw some of these comments in there. I keep saying, oh, Diana says reflection will always get you through. Absolutely. We have who else in the chat? We have um Rania, I hope I'm saying that right. She said, great question. Great conversation. So proud of you, my brother. So proud of the path street maintenance is taken for the community. Athenia said, I love that. The chat is, they loving this. They loving this chat. They loving this talk with us. But just the resolution, black on black violence, and how do we envision the role of violence prevention in the community? How do you envision that in the future?
The resolution, I would say, if we cancel that word blame, the blame word, if we point the finger back at ourselves and everybody take self inventory of self
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and have self love first, then we
Mm-hmm.
can love one another and give ourselves purpose.
Yeah.
Once you understand your purpose, you can move differently. Your energy will be different, and you'll
Mm-hmm.
like your energy. You can the maddest person in the world could be walking past, and my energy, you're gonna make. I'm gonna make sure I say it louder. How you doing, King?
Mm-hmm.
To make sure you pick your head up. So if we give each other that encouragement
Yeah.
every day, we encourage someone. That it start a different trend.
Yeah.
But we stop blaming each other and we take control and we more help one another.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's more of a resolution. But in the future, I believe dealing with the youth consistency. We want the youth to keep coming back, helping the youth. That's the
Yeah.
goal, because
Yeah.
everything is through shared experience. So we want our seniors graduating this year to be mentors next year. That way, that same influences that they had. It'll keep going, but in a different way. That's the future of it.
Yeah. 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 And that's key. And even seeing, just like you saying, having the youth come back, even seeing that, you know, that give back, and that it's like, oh nah, he did it and he's still doing it, you know, or
Hmm.
they did it and they still doing it, she did it, she's still doing it. Like I can be that, I can do, you know. Even sometimes if kids don't, you know, necessarily see themselves in our reflections as adults, they'll see it in another older kid, you know, and that's something that they can relate to. So that's definitely huge, and I love that idea, um because yeah, it's needed, it's needed. Anita said, what positive words do you have for a person coming out of incarceration?
Positive words for a person coming out of incarceration. I would say you're one of the ones that have the most freshest brain. You had a chance to sit down, gather your thoughts, turn your irrationals to rationals, and plan. Stick to your plan. Stick to your
Yeah.
plan. And it's gonna get hard. It's gonna be a lot of rejection. Trust me, I know. A lot of denials, background reports. But keep going, keep going. Sometimes you gotta crawl before you walk. And if you stay consistent and keep your head up, you're gonna look back and say it was all worth it.
What's the most valuable lesson you think you've learned personally within your life? Um,
Mm, never judge no one. You never you just don't know. You may not know. It's a
yeah,
lot that everyone don't say. So I learned never judge no one and understand a person for what the person saying and going through. If I haven't experienced it, don't give feedback. Don't
yeah.
say I understand. But also, I would say I wish I knew wish I knew back then what I knew now.
Mhm.
Um, and just keep going.
Yeah. 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 And what would you tell yourself, and knowing what you know now? What would you tell a 12-year-old version of you?
12-year version of me. mm, You're
So I
gonna be
feel,
rich.
come on now.
You're gonna be
Come,
rich.
come on now.
Wealthy. Wealthy. You're gonna be wealthy.
Yes. 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 And I feel like just emotionally, as men, especially black men in society, is looked upon as like, gotta be tough. You gotta take everything on your chin. You gotta just know how to push through. And it's like, you know, with you saying never judge nobody, you don't know what these people are going through.
Hmm.
We have to allow, an amount of grace and uh, I don't even know what I want to say, understanding, but amount of grace to give people that time to kind of figure things out, and figure out where they are, where they want to be, and where they need to be, and all of those things. Because I think that absolutely matters. We got some more chats, and let me see what's going on in the chat. Um, Thing you said, this session is is real powerful. Is there some support you could recommend? Anita asks, is there some support that you could recommend for incarcerated people that's just coming out of incarceration?
Honestly, everyone is a case on case, different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always free for a call. My number's public. You can call, guidance. And I'm not one of those type of person that's just preach, preach. If anybody know, I'll actually walk you through the door because
Mm-hmm.
I personally experienced it. I know I had a crate full of background reports. I know the experience. I know what it feel like. That no one know how you feel behind, and it makes you give up. It
Yeah.
will make you give up quick because you look at I'm doing the right thing. Maybe the right thing not meant for me. You're gonna have them thoughts. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get it how I know how. Nah, I actually try to walk you through the door. And you have high risk, lower risk. I know when you begin high risk, when you at the verge of crashing out or relapsing or going backwards. So that just make me put pep in my step.
Yeah.
And then that's when I have to start begging for favors and different things. So just call, I walk you through it, and I know the feeling firsthand.
Yes. Athenia asks, how can we get our kids who are lost to learn what you know now?
Consistency again, and we get them the proper resources. You know,
Yes.
it's everyone is different. It's a lot of in-home trauma. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
in-house trauma. You know,
Mm-hmm.
every kid is different. So me personally, I can't tell a kid, yo, young man, stop hustling, stop selling drugs if I don't know what's going on in his home.
Yeah.
So I try, instead of trying to tell him to stop selling drugs, I'm gonna try to get him a good job.
Yeah.
Now he can't if you can't make that conversion, now I'm gonna tap in with you and I'm gonna figure out what's going on in the house. So really you try to tap in and understand a person first and then you work around that and
Yeah.
push knowledge based around that. Like you don't gotta do this for that, such the proper resources around what they're going through or their situation. Some you just got that's not really them.
Yeah.
And then you got to give them to them hardcore of what you go through, what you went through,
Yeah.
and then you treat them as if okay, this is what you want to do. I'm way more advanced than you. I'm gonna treat you just as if my way of about it. So it's
Yeah.
really through engagement. You gotta give it to them hardcore. You just gotta be real at all times, and it can't be scripture. It's all through passion. So
Yeah.
if you really love these kids, and my favorite saying is, if nobody got y'all, I got y'all. When we were surprised. I remember like yesterday when the first kid in the program said, "Love you." It hit me hard. Now I
Yeah.
hear it on the streets with kids. It's a different feeling when you got a line of kids lined up on the street, probably done the craziest thing in the world or about to go do it. But they
Mhm.
stop to shake your hand and tell you they love you. And you get a
Mhm.
chance to tell them be safe. I didn't have kids. I didn't seen them on the streets. Stop, talk to them. Nice speech. They so respectful. Later I get a video, look at what they just did, and I say, wow, I
Yeah.
could have did more. Where
Yeah.
y'all going? Nah, so really, it's just consistency, engagement, encouragement, and you there for them. We look at their report cards, all the kids. If they all got the same teacher and they all failing, I'm coming to the school.
Right. Right.
So it's different things you look at. You got a lot of kids that manipulate. I was a kid. I manipulated. How you work around it? Now you got one
Mhm.
chance, but you just went from
Mhm.
here to here, and now it's intense when I talk to you. I'm gonna make you tired of me now.
Yeah.
So but honestly, knowledge is key. Knowledge is key. If you can get them the right knowledge, and the more you learn, you be surprised. You be surprised, and it could be based upon what you like, your passion. So
Yeah.
it's knowledge that you like, so you're attracted to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We have Justice in the chat. He said the energy is a determining factor. Mental and emotional intelligence is key to finding unity and peace for us.
Mm,
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what
absolutely.
I was just saying about the emotional intelligence. We have to let these young men know that we all have emotions. It's okay to feel. And I love that you say I'm tapping into what's going on personally with this individual. What's your, what's going on at home? Why are you doing this? What are you going through? That makes a difference, and that lets somebody know that they're seen. So that makes us that positive role model that they need. So you up to something. You're doing something amazing in the community, and we love that. We need that. So thank you for that. I want to ask you some of our non-negotiable questions that we ask all of our guests that I love to hear these answers to. Um, just coming off of celebrating 50 years of hip hop, who is your favorite hip hop artist?
My favorite hip hop artist, I would say lyric wise, would be Lil Wayne.
Okay.
But overall, I would go with Jay-Z off of the brain. I'm
Mm-hmm.
rolling with the brain with Jay-Z.
Okay. 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 Two of my favorites as well. Definitely. Um, Black History Month. What does Black History Month mean to you?
Um, Black History Month mean to me really is I look at Black History all year, but Black History Month mean to me, the great Carter G. Woodson. I'm a Woodson, so I
Mm-hmm.
say it's our month. We started this month.
Come on now.
um, it really is like take that time to tap in yourself and learn your ancestor, learn your culture. You
Yes,
know, it's supposed to be the basics of the knowledge, but learn yourself. Understand yourself, and also cherish yourself. Pat yourself on the back.
for sure.
You look at it as a birthday. You made it. We made it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that. And speaking of Black History Month, we have a Black History Month event that will be taking place next Saturday, February 24th. Can we get that up on the screen? Make sure you tap in with that. Yes, join us for the Black History Month experience, okay? It will be taking place at Flatbush Central Caribbean Marketplace. That is Saturday, February 24th. I believe the time is 12 to 3, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure you visit the website. You can get all of that information upon the website, all right, which will be super dope. So if you're not doing anything or you are doing anything, make sure you alter your date around that. The link is in the bio and the link is in our chat. So you can tap in with that. And we would love to see you there for this great experience. Also, Black History Fact of the Day. All month I'm going to give you the facts, and I might, just like you said, it's all year. We could keep these things going every week. Today I wanted to highlight our good sister Harriet Tubman. I didn't know that she, and this is something, maybe this is, common knowledge to somebody else, but I found this out and I thought that this was super dope. She was the first woman to lead an armed military raid in June of 1863. So I was like, oh, okay. I had no idea that, she was a part of the war that was going on. She was also a Union scout, a spy, and a nurse. Of course, she fought for women's rights, and she established a nursing home for African Americans on her property in Auburn, New York. So I thought that was super dope. I thought that was something that might be common to some and news to others, which was news to me today. So that is our Black History Fact of the day. Jumping back into you, what does Juneteenth mean to you, Roddy?
Juneteenth, that's the time to really understand and reflect on the culture. And if you
Mm-hmm.
understand what the meaning of Juneteenth is that's our time to shine. You know, it's surprisingly just becoming a holiday that's reserved, but let's not reflect on the past.
Yeah.
Let's move forward with it and let's celebrate it. And what our culture do, they say we sabotage everything. Let's outdo, let's shine, let's be ourselves. And it's a day to be yourself. A week, be yourself.
Definitely got to keep that going and tap in with us, because we celebrate here the Juneteenth celebration. Make sure you do that.
Definitely.
What do you want the community to take away from today's session?
I would say engage, empower, encourage. If everyone could encourage one person, two person, an adult and a youth a day,
Mm-hmm.
we will come closer to our goal. And you can uplift someone day, you never know.
Yep.
And also, as my partner Wayne said, that will be how we break the school to prison pipeline.
Yes.
And that is our slogan of street maintenance.
Yes.
That is our vision, and that's what we're trying to do.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. That's what you are doing,
Yeah, when we hear one, we get them kids arrested, and that break us. It break us. We look at each other, and the other day we had a kid who was arrested. We had one kid that unfortunately got shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt. I took it personally.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's just like, damn, what I do?
Mm-hmm.
Cause I type fell back from, we deal with the regular kids in the streets. I type fell back on like that kid ain't too deep, man. He hard headed or he keep pissing me off. You get those, and then when you fall back a little bit, something happened. It hurt you differently. It's like I failed them. I failed them. So never give up on them. Don't rather everybody change. It took me 20 some years before I said this is enough. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Some take time, some ready. Even when they ain't ready, keep encouraging. You're not wasting your time.
Yeah.
Because I remember everything, everyone, all the programs I've been in. I take a little bit from it all, add it to what I'm doing now. I remember what people were saying. It just I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. Between me and God, but I thank Him for His journey, for the journey, and where He got me at now.
Yeah. And I love that you said you're not wasting your time, because that's real, and you've been dropping a lot of gems, just being a realist of things that we could take away from today's episode. But just to understand that, the slightest thing that you can do for somebody can change somebody's life. Just like you're saying, I remember these conversations. I remember these programs. I remember the things. These things stuck with you, even though, just like you said, I may not have implemented at the time, but when it came time, I was able to piece it all together. So that makes all the difference. And that's huge. One last question before I let you go. What's one thing that you feel you owe yourself now? What's one thing you feel you owe yourself later? And what's one thing that you feel you owe yourself one day?
Now I owe myself, I would say, to remain myself.
I like that.
Later, I would say to remain myself. And in the
Okay.
future, to make sure that my kids are great
Mm-hmm.
and they remain their self and I remain myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Please give the people where they could contact you, tap in, become, a part of any movement that you have going on, all of your information.
We Street Maintenance and Inc. on Facebook, Street Maintenance and Inc. on Instagram, um, streetmaintenancinc.org. That's our website. You get in contact with us that same way.
Man, I really enjoyed this conversation today. I enjoyed all your insight. I enjoyed your answers, just being real and just extending yourself to these young men and seeing a reflection of yourself and knowing that, I could do something to help this young man. I could do something to change a life. And, just know that we appreciate that. We need that. And just keep being great. Keep being great. And,
Sure.
you keep being great. Before we get out of here, I have to call all of our fashion models, all of our designers. If you in the fashion world, we got something for you, okay? The showcase time for your talent is here. We're looking for fashion models. We're looking for designers for the Juneteenth showcase, okay? You can tap in. We're going to drop the link for that. And the dates for that, the application dates, the deadlines is April 1st for the model application and March 1st for the designers. Okay. So if you got some fly gear, if Fashion Week was this last week, this week, tap in with us. We want to see what you got. We want some creatives and we want to, bring you on. So the link is in the chat. They just dropped the link in the chat. So join us for that. And that would be the showcase is going to be on June 16th. So we got time, but we need you to get these applications done. So please do so with that. Also, social media management. Can we get that workshop up on the screen? We have another social media workshop that will be happening February 20th at 6 p.m. Social media marketing. I know a lot of us need that help. Social media marketing, we are here to help you, okay? Enhance your business online presence. We're here to help you with that. A free social media marketing class. Free. Might I add? Let me say that again. Free. February 20th at 6 p.m. Tap in with that. I promise you don't want to miss that. You can message us on Instagram for that, or I'm sure they'll drop the link. The link is also in the chat for that. So please tap in with that. Again, as we close out today, thank you so much again, Radri, for being here, for your insight, for everything that you dropped in on us today. Make sure you tap in with us same time, same place next week. I will have another amazing guest that will be joining us. And make sure you like, comment, share, repost, add us, all of that, Juneteenth NY. And follow me as well, FabMBG. And I Had a Praying Grandmother on that Instagram. Until next time, We out of here. I hope you enjoyed this session just like I did. See y'all next week.
Appreciate it.
Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in the space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experienced it, like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself,
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that.